Hello and welcome to Grow Up on Purpose with Tamika Johnson. Today I want to talk about being in a place that you don't want to be in or living in a place where you don't want to live. I posed that question on last week's video. Have you ever been in a place that you do not want to be? Have you ever gone to a place that you just don't want to go, or but you needed to be in that place? For example, have you ever gone to a job? You some of you may be working at a job where you feel unfulfilled. You feel like, you know what? I'm only here because I need the money. I have to take care of my family. Um, I'm only here because this is the only skill I have. And so what can I do with myself or with my family or my life if I leave this place? Some of you are even in, let's keep it real. Some of you are even in relationships that you have you're just comfortable with. So you actually in a place that you're saying, you know what, I'm not happy here, but this is what I'm used to. I'm complacent. I'm used to this. I'm comfortable with this. Um, um, I don't want to try anything new. I don't want to be any place new. So you're comfortable with where you are, but it leaves you feeling incomplete, unsatisfied. It leaves you feeling like, you know what I'm saying, you have no purpose. Have you ever those are physical places, but today I want us to focus on not only physical places that we've been to or we are that we don't want to be, but let's think about those mental places that we allow our minds to constantly go to. Like when things happen in our life, we immediately go to this comfort place of negativity in our minds. Let's think about emotionally, we go to this negative place when there's pressure in life. Things are not going our way in life. Like we go to those places, but we don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? You know how it feels. It's just like going to a physical place or a physical place and you don't want to be. It makes you feel unfulfilled, unsatisfied, sometimes even make you angry. You know what I'm saying? And so your displaced anger, you begin to with displaced anger, you begin to take it out on other people around you that don't have anything to do with, people that don't even have the knowledge of you being in a place that you don't want to be. And so think about even, so we think about spiritually being at a place that you don't want to be. You feel like you should know more about yourself, your spirituality, who God is. Like I'm at this place and I'm stuck. I'm in this place. I don't want to be in this place. But how many let's talk about, there are like plenty of people who are stuck in places that they don't want to be. They are living in places that they don't want to be. And so when we think about those things, I have like two things to say, and that's get out. Get out. You don't have to stay there. You do not have to stay there. So let's talk about it. Being in a relationship that you don't want to be in. Think about it. The relationship may not be healthy for you, but some of us stay because this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm used to. But it's one word that can change it all. And that word is change. Not being afraid to make changes. A lot of people today in today's world, they are at places, they are working jobs, they are in relationships, they are mentally in places, they are physically in places, mentally, emotionally, spiritually in places because they are afraid of change. And there's one thing that I know about change. For most people, change is unfamiliar. I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't know if change will be good for me. I don't know how to make this change. But I say the first thing you need to do is just move. Move. Make a first step. Make the first step is to move. Move in the way you think. Move in the places where you are. If you can't move immediately, then guess what? Come up with a course of action. Write a goal of the changes you want to see. Where do you want to be? So the first thing you need to ask yourself is explore the idea. If I could be anywhere in the world, where would I be? Make your goals, make it realistic. If I can be anywhere, or even challenge yourself, you know, if I could be anywhere in the world, where would I be? Where would I go? What would I be doing? Write it down. Make it clear. Write the vision. Make it plain. So that when you're able to go back and revisit your goal and make the first steps. So let's talk about mentally, being in a place mentally where you've grew up in a world of negativity and everything around you has been negative. And so immediately when something good happens for you or to you, you go back to that negative place. Someone gives you a compliment and your immediate response is to analyze. Why did they give me a compliment? Do I deserve a compliment? Oh, they really didn't mean it. So your level of receiving, you have a low level of receiving affirmations or compliments from other people. Or something goes wrong on the job, you immediately say, you know what, I already knew it was going to happen. I knew something bad was going to happen anyways. Everything is going good in your life. And when something goes wrong, instead of trying to resolve the issue or the conflict, you immediately just resolve within yourself. You know what, I knew something negative was going to happen. Something bad was going to happen anyway. So, but how do you change a negative mind? I don't come as a mental health specialist, but I come as a teacher, and I come through experience of using the strategies that I teach. Is first of all, identifying, that's going to be a key thing. I teach my clients the key thing is identifying that place that you don't, first of all, identifying that place that you don't want to be. Identify it. Where is that place that you don't want to be? Is it a physical place? Is it a spiritual place? Is it a mental place? Is it a emotional place? That, you know what, I'm so used to this place, but you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. So it's recognizing, first of all, I don't want to be at this place. I don't want to be here anymore. So that's the first step. Making a decision, making up in your mind that, you know what, this is an uncomfortable situation. This is an uncomfortable place, but I don't want to be here anymore. And so then you begin to say, okay, if I don't want to be here, where do I want to be? What do I want to see mentally, physically, emotionally happening for me? And then you come up with a course of action or action plan to get yourself from out of that place. I'm going to say it again. Get out of every situation that you don't want to be in. Change. Don't be afraid of change, because change could be a good thing. There's this book that I read. I was completing my master's at Silver Lake College, and the book was it was called Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Johnson. It was called Who Moved My Cheese. And the book basically was talking about change and how sometimes when change happens, we are afraid. Our immediate response is to be alarmed. And, he used the who moved my cheese. And the analogy was three mice who will always store their cheese up in one area. And then one morning they wake up and the cheese is gone. And now it's like, oh my goodness, where's my cheese, and things like that. And then you have the three mice who wallowed in their mess for a while, and two of them came to their senses and said, you know what? It's time to find new cheese. It's time to, you know what? They came to their senses and said, this place right here is old. This place right here, there's no more production going on. There's no more producing in this place. It's time to go find new cheese. And so they went on a journey to find new cheese. However, the one mice stayed there trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to make that cheese appear again, reappear again. The cheese was gone, but he was staying in this place thinking that that old cheese was going to somehow just pop back up. And sometimes we stay in situations so long because we want the old thing to happen again for us. We want that old relationship to rehash. We want that old way of thinking to fulfill us again. We want those old emotions to make us feel good again. But guess what? Those old things no longer work. And so you have to make up your mind that, you know what? Old things are not working. It's time to move into something new. So it's time to make a change. Right. And so that's what those other two mice did. They went on and it was a journey, you know. They had to bend some corners. They had to go to places that they were not familiar with. They had to experience unfamiliar things. But guess what? They grew in the process. And what happened, I suggest you get that book. That book is really good by Dr. Johnson, Who Moved My Cheese. But the thing about it is when they found new cheese, oh my goodness, mentally, they had grown so much that, you know what? When they woke up in the morning, they prepared for change. They made up in their mind, we may go to this place today and the cheese may not be there. So what we going to do? We're going to go somewhere else and get some more cheese. So that's where you go into life. You know what? That's part of life. You prepare for change. So when change does happen, you won't be caught off guard. You won't be depressed. You won't be comfortable and complacent in places that's no longer benefiting you, no longer being productive. It's time to start producing in our lives. It's time for us to stop being complacent in places that we don't want to be. You don't have to be where you don't want to be. It's time to begin to think about what you're thinking about. It's time to let go, eradicate those negative thinking that keeps you comfortable in dead situations. I'm going to say it again. You don't have to stay in dead situations anymore. You don't have to be afraid of change. There's a saying that people say, we're looking for change. Be the change that you want to see. But these are tools that I think to free you from to help you to get out that situation that you're in or get out that mindset that keeps you at the same place. If you find yourself in the same place next year or find you in the same place that you were at last year, this year, then the next year, the cycle and just keeps going. You have not progressed any. You're hanging around the same friends. You're doing the same thing. You're working at the same place with no growth, no development happening. It's time, then guess what? One thing I like about life is as long as you have life, you can always make a change. Um, as long as there's life, you can always progress. And know that progression does not mean perfection. I'm going to say that again. Progression does not mean perfection. It's your progression, practice makes better. So I want you guys to take away this about living in a place or being in a place that you don't want to be. First thing I want you to take away with this from this video is identifying, because you want to be happy. Listen, we got one life to live, and it makes no sense to live in a place that we don't want to be. You don't want to die in a situation or be in a place that you just unhappy, you're uncomfortable, you're tired and you're lethargic. You don't want to be here, but you're afraid to move forward because you're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid. You know what? Take risk. The people, the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is, the successful person takes risk. They prepare for change. They make up in their mind, you know what, today may not, how I got my money today, I may not be able to get it tomorrow the same way. The way I figured this situation out, I may not be able to figure out the same way. Change is inevitable. inevitable. You have to prepare for change. You may be living in a place today, and tomorrow they may say, you know what, it's time to go, time to move. Prepare your mind and heart and everything you need to for change. Life is full of changes, but you have to be comfortable with it. And sometimes, what I say when I say comfortable with change, it doesn't mean that change, when you're transitioning into change, that it will always be comfortable. But what I mean is you have to be okay with the possibility that change is going to happen regardless in every area of your life. But do you want to be proactive or reactive when it comes to managing your thought life, managing your physical life, your spiritual life, your mental, emotional life? And so the first thing you need to do, I'm going to go back to the first thing you need to do is identify that place. You want to be happy. I hear people come in my office all the time and they say, I want to be happy. But guess what? If you want to be happy, you have to make the first step, and that is getting rid of the old that no longer serves a purpose in your life. Getting rid of situations that no longer serve a purpose in your life. Handling business in a different way, stop handling business in a way that don't serve you anymore. Learning new ways to handle business, learning new ways to resolve conflict, learning new ways to think about a situation. No longer thinking negative, but on purpose. Growing up on purpose. We're gonna talk about my book too. Growing up on purpose, though, making an effort, a great effort to change the way you're looking, change the way you're living, change the way you're thinking. I say this oftentimes. Think about what you're thinking about. So, what is it about change that you're afraid of? Identify it. Write it down. What is it about change that you are afraid of? What is it about change that you are afraid of? Are you afraid that you may go to a new place and may not fit in? But guess what? That's okay if you don't fit in. Are you afraid that if you go to this new place, you may not be successful? Take a risk, because you may find out that you will be successful. One thing I learned in my life personal, that change is a good thing. I view change now as a good thing. I used to think of change as being, um, um, I didn't like change. I used to think of change as being a bad thing or something to be feared. Like me, I still got my same house number I had since I was 18. Still have my same cell phone. I was one that used to always say, I hate change. But no, you know what? I welcome change, because change and growth and development has done me great. you know, Taking risks has done my life well. Being whole and happy mentally, physically, emotionally, I make myself happy. If nobody else can make me happy, I make myself happy. Because guess what? If something needs to be changed, I'm going to change it. If I have to be by myself and make myself happy, guess what? I'm going to do it. And guess what? It makes your life better when you are in control of your life, when you are making decisions that help you to produce better in your life. And so the first thing I talk about, identify that place that you don't want to be. I don't want to be here. I know I'm used to this place mentally. I don't want to think like this no more. I don't want to have this bad temper no more. I don't want to react to conflict like this anymore. I don't want to live here anymore. And guess what? You don't have to. You may not have all the resources right now, but guess what? Write it down, a course of action, and begin to work that plan. Write it down. What is it that I need to do to bring about a change in my life? What is it that I need to do to move me out of this place that I'm so comfortable with mentally? I know I'm so used to reverting to this way of thinking when situations arise in my life, but I want to have a better way, a healthy way of thinking. So what do I need to do? First thing I said, identify that place that you don't want to be in. Now, it might be multiple places that you want to work on, but start with one of them. This is what I don't want to do anymore. When problems arise in my life, I don't want to withdraw. I want to meet the challenge. I want to solve the problem. I don't want to hide from the problem. I don't want to make excuses from the problem. I don't want to run from the problem. I don't want to use substance to heal me or try to cure the problem, but I want to effectively solve the problem. I want to see the change in my life be fruitful, producing much in my life. So identify the change. And then ask yourself, why is this change necessary? Or how would this change benefit me and the people in my sphere of influence? How is this change good for me? And then begin to see the impossible. Begin to visualize yourself in that new place. If you have a negative way of talking, begin to visualizing yourself speaking positive. What you think about, you eventually say, and what you say, you eventually do. Everything you do, everything you say, it all begins in your mind. So the first thing, identify that place. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Change the way you think about that place. And then come up with a solution. How am I going to move myself to the next level? Begin to think about change in a good way. Change is good for me. Change will be good for me. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm going. I'm striving to be right where I need to be. If you're working at a job and you feel like, you know what, I've been here so long and there's nothing else for me to do, explore your options. Explore, do that thing that you always wanted to do. You only live once. If something is inside of you and you saying, you know what, I heard someone say, I'm going back to school to become a nurse at the age of 40. Guess what? Do it. Do it. That change will be great for you. Do it. Take one class at a time if you need to, but do it. Oh, I want to open this business. Write the plan, make the vision plain. Take the first step. Do it. Um, but leave that place that you no longer want to be. You don't have to be there. Um, in the book, again, my book I mentioned, Grow Up on Purpose. I talk about that place. I give you keys and strategies on how to move you from that place that you don't want to be in. And how many of you know that you don't have to be where you don't want to be? You don't have to be, but you have to make a decision to grow up on purpose, grow up intentionally. Move yourself from the old places that no longer benefit you, the old places that keep you in fear, the old places that keep you stagnated. It's time to move and grow up. You want to make different money? Make different choices, make different moves. You don't have to live with one income. You don't have to wait on somebody else to lead you. Do it yourself. Everything you need is in you. God already gave you everything you need. You just have to bring it out of you. This is a model that I live by that the late Dr. Miles Monroe said. He said, die empty. He said, everything that's in you, birth it up out of you. Birth that book. Birth that job. I don't care if you got to work 5 or 6 jobs, birth it. Break those generational curses. Have multiple streams of income. I don't care what the world may say. They might be saying, "Oh, you doing all kind of stuff. You working this. You writing books. You doing this." Guess what? Work it. You can do it. Get up out that normal place. It's time for us to move into places that we are satisfied with being us. We're happy with being us. It may not serve everybody else and make everybody else happy, but guess what? If we're happy, guess what? Happy people do happy stuff. And then the atmosphere around you becomes happy because you made up your mind that you're no longer going to be that angry person. You're no longer going to be in that relationship that benefits not neither party. You're not going to be spiritually dead anymore, but you're going to take the word of God, or take however you choose to operate in your spirituality. But you're going to and when I talk about spirituality, I'm talking about everything that move, anything, your inner being that moves you away from the carnality of this world. Because the carnality of, if that's all you have, you don't have much. You need to be able to look past something bigger than you. Me personally, it's Jesus Christ through his Holy Spirit that lead and guide me all day, every day. Something greater than me. You need something greater than you. That will keep you unhappy. If you is the only thing that you look forward to sometimes, find something greater than you, a greater cause. You know what I'm saying? Feed the homeless. Volunteer at a nursing home. Begin to donate to people in need. Like, find a cause greater than you. Begin to speak to that being that no one knows about but you and the creator, right? And so, yeah, move from the dead places that you are in your life. It's possible. And I'm going to close this video. And I thank you guys for watching it. You can put something in a comment. If you want me to discuss something else, put it in a comment. But most of all, what I need you to do is share this video, subscribe to this video. I am looking for, I'm not looking for anything. I am accepting new clients. They're limited though. I don't want to overbook because I do traveling and speaking engagements. So um I am accepting new clients. You can email me at Tamika at growupempowerment.com. My website is www.growupempowerment.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Tamika Johnson. You can also find me at Grow Up Empowerment Life Coaching LLC on Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram at tamika.johnson.10, and then the company at Grow Up Empowerment. Again, if you have not purchased this wonderful tool in helping you grow up on purpose, I talk about, tools to eradicate negative thinking, tools to help you become, be happy, your happiness coming from within. Even forgiving yourself for allowing yourself. That's going to be the key. Forgiving yourself. Like, yeah, I let myself stay in this place so long. You know what I'm saying? That I can't even forgive yourself. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you allowed yourself to be here so long. Yeah, you allowed yourself to live there so long. Yeah, you allowed these things to play in your head so long to keep you stagnated, keep you stuck. But guess what? Forgive yourself, apologize to yourself, forgive other people, and move on. Don't stay in that place of unforgiveness. And don't stay in the place of people making you feel guilty about anything. Move from all of those places. Not all the places are physical. Like I mentioned before, some of them are mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Move for those places that are no longer productive or fruitful for you or your children or your family or people that work with you. Nobody wants to be around an unhappy person, and you don't want to be an unhappy person. So move yourself to the next level. If you're looking for coaching, speaking engagement, conferences, even preaching, ministering, contact me at one of my contact platforms. You can find me on the social media platforms that I listed before. And once again, I want to welcome everybody to Grow Up Purpose with Tamika Johnson. I will I will be on every Thursday. If you know if you have a topic that you want me to discuss, or just inbox me, put it in the comment section or whatever else. And if you have not purchased my book, Grow Up on Purpose, do so. And guess what? The journal of this book will be out hopefully by next week. And the journal, it looks so dope. So I have a lot of prompt questions in here, and the journal, you can actually write the prompt, you can answer the prompt questions and just free your mind. Free your mind. What involves say free your mind and the rest will follow. So in the journal, you can just free your mind of everything and go back and look at it and just grow up on purpose. Eliminate critters, those distractions, all of those things. This book is wonderful for everybody, men, women, And high schoolers, middle schoolers can probably read it too and grow up. Make that decision. I'll see you next week on Grow Up on Purpose with Tamika. Bye bye.